Screen protector for the Apple Watch, and most people said it was terrible. But I'm going to show you the best one you can get, and it really is good. Here we go. So I'll start by doing a quick unboxing of the product. Fight the box open. You get some install tools, the glass itself, and then this sticker is just a clear sticker that's intended to cover the body of the watch. You put that on during the installation so that the liquid doesn't get anywhere. And then they do offer an installation guide. I did go through this installation guide when I first got the screen protector and put it on. You guys can freeze frame, read it, or if you purchase this, it'll all come with it. And then you get a, make sure you review our products. Now, what's interesting with this is this glue here, which is right here. Let me get this out. Actually cures with UV lighting. So to do this, we will need, you don't need to use a power pack, but you do need a lightning connector. And we'll see here. So this is going to be used to cure the glue once we apply it to the device. So the first thing you want to do is take your watch band off completely and prepare your device. Open up some of your stuff. It's definitely advisable to give a good alcohol wipe just to clean off any fingerprints or anything that could, cause the bonding agent not to adhere properly to this. You don't want the screen coming off. You don't want any bubbles or anything like that. Now you're probably wondering why I have a broken one here. Well, before I decided to review this, I wanted to see how easy it was to remove. Unfortunately, these screen protectors are not cheap. I did purchase these with my own money. I actually had a small chip on the bottom of this one before I started putting my watch in a case. So I just decided to take it off, do a new one. I enjoyed the product so much I figured, hey, why not do a review on it? So here we are. So this is like a 3D sort of, if you can kind of see there, the 3D tempered glass, and the glass quality is actually really good. It doesn't just scratch up just like the normal Apple Watch screen does, which Series 3, Series 4, and Series 5 have a definite issue with scratching. You guys can see here the scratches on my Apple Watch, and if you haven't followed my videos, I actually have a previous video on the scratching on this versus like the older Apple Watches, so you can see here. What's really cool about this is it's a liquid glue, so it actually hides all the scratches and everything else. It'll actually fill all of that. You will not see it. It looks like a brand new screen. It's really, really impressive. So to begin, what you want to do, and what I found easiest to do, is to apply the sticker, and you start by peeling it off here. Now this doesn't fit around the button unless they've changed it. No, it still doesn't. So what your goal is, and what I noticed with this, is you want to line this up to the top here and make sure that it is on the metal but like lined up perfectly to this edge, because you don't want the glue to seep over and get onto the watch. Although you can remove the glue easily just with some rubbing alcohol and a swab, and you just kind of clean it up and the rubbing alcohol will break it down. You do have to kind of smush this around and get it over that button and stretch it just a little bit. Try not to pull too hard on this because it will stretch fairly easily, and also make sure that this isn't really on the glass. So if you guys can see here, so we want to try and keep it off the glass as much as possible. So I'm actually going to stretch it down a little bit just so that we get a full proper bond across that glass. And what I find actually helps too is you can run your nail across the line, the lip there, and you can actually push it down if you feel it there. That way then you know the glass is going to be nice and clear. The rest is pretty simple. You just basically peel this off and wrap it around. Again, trying to line this up as best as possible. This is just to keep any of that glue from spilling over. So I'm not too worried about how this works. You peel this right off right after you're done. Again, running my fingernail across that line, trying to clean that line up so that there's going to be proper adhesion to the glass all the way around. And then the next thing you want to do is grab an alcohol wipe, and we talked about the finger oils and fingerprints. So you're going to take this little guy here. You don't have a lot of time with these. The alcohol will dry out really quickly, so it's good to be prepared, jump right into it. You'll want to see it on the screen and then evaporating off the screen. So what this does is this is breaking down any of the oils from your fingers. At this point, I would really recommend being careful not to touch the screen. It's not going to make a huge difference, but it still can be a hinder. You don't want anything on there. Anything that is on there might mess up the adhesive. So once that is dry, which that can just take a moment to dry, you can then use a lint-free cloth. They do supply one. And again, you're just going to polish out the screen, making sure there's nothing else on the device that you don't want under that screen. Any hairs, any fibers that you might actually see. This will hide the cracks, but I don't know if it would hide a hair, and there's always seems to be at least one floating around, especially if you have animals or a fluff. So I'm going to say this is actually looking pretty mint right there. That is super duper clean. And you guys can see that scratch again, so we're going to watch that big scratch disappear. So the next thing you do, this was kind of confusing to me. I didn't really like exactly how this was set up. So basically, once you open this, once you twist and pull it off, it's open, and it looks like it's not. So you just have to be really, really careful and not to spill it. So it's already open. You can see I've twisted the little cap off the top already. So don't set this down. Make sure it stands straight up. Now what it recommends to do is to empty the tube in the middle of the screen. And then what you want to do is you want to peel the first side off and just lay the screen down. Now because this screen is 3D printed, for the most part, this product won't activate until we add the UV lighting. So we have an opportunity to correct it, to set it down, and to make sure all the glue is all around the edges, and it will seep out a little bit. So don't be too worried if it seeps out just a little bit here. So we're going to begin by adding the glue, which you do just by squeezing, trying to keep it as center as possible. And you'll run out of glue fairly quick, so use the entire bottle and try to keep it on there and as flat as possible. That was supposed to be flat. If it's not flat, oh no. Alright, so let's call this take 2. Before we begin, I wanted to stress to you guys that this is probably the most difficult screen protector you're ever going to apply. You only get one shot with this glue, and if you do what I did and it spills, you'll have to purchase another kit. So be very careful when you're doing this, and I have some tips for you guys. First off, don't waste any time. Make sure that the glass has been peeled off and is literally ready to go. Second, make sure you are on a flat surface, and be very certain that you're on a flat surface, because when you go to pour this liquid on top of this screen, if it runs off like you guys seen, you're gonna have a bad time. You need most of the glue. You need enough glue that when you put this screen on top of your original screen, that there will be complete coverage. So it will spill over on the sides, but you need to make sure you have enough of that glue. So this is really, really important. Make sure you peel this off. As you can see here, I've just left the top off so that I can quickly grab this and put this on. You want to make sure the screen is exposed and ready to go. So you want to make sure it's also clean and there's nothing going on. I've already cleaned everything all over again. I literally had to reorder a new kit, and this video is being filmed days later from the initial tutorial. So Be very careful. I'm gonna do this very quickly. I had to reposition the camera so that the camera's out of my way so that I can do this really fast. I'm sorry if it's not the best angle for you guys to see. I will zoom in and show you close up once it is complete. I just want to do this properly since you only get one shot. So now we want to activate our glue, and we want to do this right away. You do not want to wait around at all with this. So I've already got a setup ready to go. Alright guys, so here we go. We now need to allow this to cure. Make sure that you have this fully covered. Figure out some way to prop it up, just like you see me doing here. So what the manufacturer suggests is that we let this sit for approximately 3 minutes, clean up a little bit of the glue, and then allow it to sit again under the light for another 5 minutes. I like to try and do this a little longer. Now, I had some really good success with this. As you can see there, the scratches, everything is gone. The glue fills everything in. It looks brand spanking new. So we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, Google, set an alarm for 1 minute.
5:32 p.m. set.
Okay, Google, stop. Now we've hit the 2-minute mark, and at this point here we just want to quickly disconnect this, and you'll actually notice these lights get pretty warm, so it's good to give this a couple-minute break. You'll want to take the alcohol cloth. If you don't have one, I would probably get another little bit of rubbing alcohol. And what we're going to do is we just want to clean up any of the excess glue that is spilled over before it becomes too difficult to remove. This glue smells. It has a really pungent, really gross kind of smell. So make sure when you're finished with this that you throw all of this out in the garbage. Don't let any pets get near it or any children get near any of it. To be honest, the alcohol swab they give you is just really not enough. I added a bunch of rubbing alcohol to a paper towel here, and I'm just going to quickly clean up my device. Rubbing alcohol evaporates really quick, so you should just be able to get most of the glue while it is still wet, or at least semi-wet, or sort of sticky. So once we've cleaned up most of the glue here, you can actually see some of the glue is actually formed and stuck to the side. But if you're persistent and you just go with the paper towel, you don't even have to push, you just have to rub very lightly. It will just break down and disappear. So you can even kind of pick a teeny bit, and there you go. We can use this rag here. And so now we're going to put it back under the UV light. Make sure to clean your hands using the alcohol, just to remove. You will smell that glue on your hand for quite some time. So we are going to prop up our fancy little rig here, power on the light, and we are now going to let this sit for 5 minutes. It says 3 to 5 minutes. Do a minimum of 5 minutes. Don't mess with this. Let the countdown begin. Okay, Google, set an alarm for 5 minutes.
5:42 p.m. set.
Alright guys, the 5 minutes is over, and to be fair, I actually let this sit for probably 7 to 10 minutes. This just allows the glue to cure a lot better and will be really durable. And I'll say this, I had to pry one of these screens off after chipping the side from my dog jumping up on my arm and chipping the side. One, the screen saved my watch from getting any major damage to it, and two, it was glued on there like crazy. This glue will not be lifting, it will not bubble on you. You will have a nice show finish right to the bitter end, and getting these screens off is a fleet on its own. I will admit, this glue bonds really well. Make sure you're careful with this, set it aside. These LEDs do get very hot, so we do want to make sure that that's set aside. Once again, we are going to clean the watch one more time, so we're just going to one more time clean up the watch. We're gonna now this time get into these little ridges, make sure that there's no excess glue. We can feel here my wheel is still nice and smooth. My button has a nice click to it. Everything is all good. We cleaned up most of it. You can't see any of the glue coming out of the sides. I will show you guys a nice close-up of this. So we're just gonna make sure we polish this baby up. There's our famous Apple logo. And here we go, guys. Look at that beautiful brand new screen on that Apple Watch. You can't even really see that the glass protector is there. This is a nice stock look with a lot more protection than the Apple Watch actually offers. The screen is very clear, very vivid. There is no glare from it. There's no color distortion. Wonderful, wonderful product. Alright guys, there you have it. My Apple Watch is all brand new again. Thank you to Daylynch for this kit specifically. They didn't send me this kit, I purchased it with my own money, but I was so happy with the product. Even when I broke one, and then even when I made a mistake installing one, I still purchased another one. I like the quality of your guys' product. It's not easy to install, but once it is installed, it's the best. I'd love to see if there's anybody else out there that has found a screen protector that doesn't bubble, that doesn't look like crap. And this does not look bad at all. This looks really well done. I'm really satisfied with this. The price here in Canada was $19.99. In the United States it might be a little bit cheaper. But overall, if you look at the cost of your Apple Watch, I have the Series 4 Cellular Edition, and how much you would spend if you broke that screen. Like, this is a no-brainer. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed my content, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos. If you like my review videos of products that I just purchased, I'm gonna buy them anyways, so I may as well show you, give you my lowdown. See you again next time. Take care.